Hi friends, I hope you're having an amazing day today. Today I'm going to be talking to you all about vulnerability and vulnerability hangovers because they're a real thing. So let's get started. Alright, so I wanted to bring up the topic of vulnerability to you guys today and talk about vulnerability hangovers or even just emotional healing hangovers because they happen, they're a real thing. This is just the phrase that I've heard coined for them and that I coined myself. So when it comes to opening up as a person, when it comes to sharing things that have you feeling vulnerable, uneasy, a little bit scared to share, or let's say you're in a relationship and you're taking those steps to be more vulnerable with each other, whether that be a friendship, relationship with a family member, or a significant romantic partner. When you take steps of vulnerability, it requires a lot of processing to happen in your mind and in your body. I'm talking to you guys about this today because it's something that I'm presently working through and going through on a somewhat consistent basis. As life goes on, we deepen as human beings. We become more deep, we have a lot more understanding for life, how it works, based on our past experiences, especially those of us who go through life with a growth mindset, meaning we grow through life. We don't just go through life, we actually actively choose to learn our lessons, reflect on our lessons, and reflect on ourselves in the process. So if you're someone like that, you can probably identify times in your life when you have had a vulnerability hangover or allow for some emotional healing to happen. So acknowledging your own feelings and sifting through them as much as they might be very uncomfortable. When you do this, oftentimes you can feel it the next day. You might feel like a weight is lifted to some extent, but you also might go through anxious thoughts of, did I share too much? Was that okay? Could I have said it differently? But the truth is, just do your best to ignore those thoughts and just allow the mind and body to comprehend what happened. Because each time that you use your voice and you step out of your comfort zone in that way, you're actually changing your neural pathways in your brain. So something that you might have previously believed is that if I share, no one's going to listen. Or maybe no one really cares about what I have to say. But if you, for example, did share what was going on in your mind or going on in your life, something that is vulnerable, maybe you talked about your own feelings and the other person listened, or the other person was intrigued. These are reactions that are changing your perception of your reality. They're changing your belief system. And when this happens, as much as you may not be able to identify in the moment, you're rewriting what is possible for you and what is around you and what is available to you. And I have spoken a lot about the realm of possibilities before, and I speak of it like this bubble that surrounds you. So if you're getting real with yourself in front of others, that's a real transformation. And with transformation, we know it's an up-leveled version of you. So be kind and compassionate with yourself when it comes to these vulnerability hangovers. Like I said, try not to dwell and give power to those thoughts that don't serve you. Know that if you showed up as your true self in the moment, you were doing exactly what you needed to do. You were speaking your truth, and that is the best thing that you can do for yourself, because when you speak your truth, you allow for different things to be reflected back to you. You allow for different possibilities to enter the realm. You allow for different outcomes, more positive outcomes. Because the more and more that you can go through this life being exactly who you are, speaking your truth, just being you to the most authentic version of yourself, the more and more that you can exercise that, the more and more happier you will be with yourself and the more and more fulfilled you will be. So when it comes to these vulnerability or emotional hangovers, just trust the process. Allow the healing to happen. Know that it's not always on the level that you can identify and comprehend. Sometimes, and a lot of the time, there are things going on in the subconscious mind that need to change things in the body. I told you guys that through all of my emotional healing, my eye color changed. Not sure if you could notice it, but it's something that I noticed because I probably look at my eyes more out of anyone, like in the mirror. So things happen that we can't always comprehend. So when you are feeling vulnerable, when you are sharing, know that you're doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing. You're being human. You're sharing your voice, you're sharing yourself, and you're giving yourself permission to be exactly who you are. And like I mentioned in the process too, allow for it to sink in, allow for it to process, and just trust that you're exactly where you need to be. Anyways, guys, I hope this was the message that you needed to hear today. It was just something that was on my mind, so I wanted to share with you. If If you did like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe down below, and I'll see you again very soon. Bye!